And in 4, 3, 2, 1, we're live on YouTube. Yay. Hey everybody, this is Christina Delgado and I'm so excited for this call. Right now we have over 300 people watching just in the webinar. I'm sure many people are going to be joining us on YouTube, which is very exciting. So let me just give everyone a quick kind of background as to why we're even here, because it might be a little confusing. Most of the time when test groups kind of happen during the year, when a new product is about to come out on Beachbody On Demand, the calls and all the hype kind of happens towards the end of the program, right? When the results are starting to come in and coaches are starting to get the trainer on calls, and that's how it's typically ran. But we're kind of doing it backwards. And the reason why we're doing it backwards is because as the coaches on this call, plus the other, 90 or so other coaches that are in the 80-day obsession test group, experienced really early was a lot of mind shifts, was a lot of aha moments, where moments of clarity, moments of compassion. It was quite interesting to me as we were placed in this group. I know Amy Silverman called it a social experiment. It almost felt that way because all of these coaches from different walks of life, different personalities, that's for sure, different lifestyles, different sizes, different everything, were placed in a group not knowing anything that was about to happen to us. They named this program ADD, and for quite honestly, I was like, are they trying to send us a message? Like, they have all these very successful coaches in a group called ADD, and I'm like, is that on purpose? Like, is Carl thinking that we have attention deficit disorder and he's come up with a new program to try to cure that? I don't know. Most of the test grouper didn't even know who the super trainer was. Like, it was this crazy moment of like 3 days of people sharing their struggles, people sharing their journey. I shared how I felt coming into this, and in those few days, and especially the few days after we started, I started realizing that something really special was happening within the confines of this group. All of these very successful coaches, whether they are very into health and fitness, you have the Melissa McAllisters, the Becky, my sister Becky, the Danielle Natonis, the Tanya Barons, who are always on their A game fitness-wise, come into a group with people like me who are always like not on that wagon, and it was a very, very interesting time. And during those moments, I said, wow, all of us, it doesn't matter who we are or what we look like, we are all challengers at this very moment. And I know for me, I became energized in my business. I became disciplined, more disciplined in my business. I became focused in my business. My energy on social media, what I think is pouring out of me, because I'm so excited about finally committing to a program. And I hadn't done that in quite a while. And I'm not saying everybody on this call is like me. I'm just sharing my kind of aha moment. And so I thought to myself, maybe I'm not the only one, and maybe something special is happening here, that we can, instead of waiting until December when everybody's crazy busy getting ready for the holidays, let's start doing something now to not only train our coaches of the process of, being proof the products work and inviting and all that stuff that we do day in and day out, but get, the excitement that we are like they're pouring out of our skin right now over this program. Let's start sharing that now. And so I posted, I said, hey guys, so I have an idea. Do you think that it would be cool to do a call, just a call now? Talking about being proof the products work, because all of us right now are being so proof that the products work. Like, look at me, my arms are coming back. And I thought like 3 people would say yes, like, yeah, I'll do that with you. But it was like everybody said yes. And I said, there's no way that we can do a call with 100 successful coaches who all love to talk about themselves and share their stories on calls like this. Like, we'll be on, Zoom for 35 hours. So we did a lottery and we said, okay, instead of doing one call, let's do a series of calls where we're all going to switch, right? And new people are going to come in and we'll talk about different topics, all while in the confines of 80-day obsession. And everybody said, yes, let's do that. And so I had Marley, and I'm just setting this up, but I had Marley pick names out of a hat for this first call. And we're going to keep doing that. It's kind of fun in the group. And the first name to come up was Melanie Mitro. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, this is the first call and we get the top coach on the first call. And then it was Julie and Rob and Ashley and Amanda. I'm like, bingo, like, this is absolutely amazing. So here we are on our first call. We do have a special guest that's going to be joining us. This program is special. And during this call, we'll talk a little bit more about the program, what it is, what it involves, the nutrition plan. We can answer some questions. But so this is call one of this series that we're going to have. We hope to do this every other week with new speakers and new hosts, so that everybody gets a chance to share their perspective, not only in the realm of our coaching businesses, but in the realms of us being challengers. Because this is what we do, guys. When you are dialed into your nutrition, dialed into a fitness program, dialed into a challenge group. Man, I haven't been dialed into a challenge group in a really long time. Things start to shift. There's shifts that happen in your business, and here comes DJ. There's shifts that happen in your mindset, and you start attracting people to you. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over. Let's see, who am I going to call on first? Let's call on Ashley. Ashley, I would love to have, did you know I was going to call you? I would love to have you come on and, number one, share your 80-day obsession journey so far, how you feel about the program, what you've learned so far, and maybe some obstacles that you've had to overcome while being proof that the products work.
Perfect. I had to jot those two little notes down because I'll forget what I'm going to say. So, okay. I knew you were going to call on me first. Hey guys, my name is Ashley. And so when I got this email, this invite, I was obviously excited, but I also saw the ADD thing and I was like, okay, what is this? Is this like an ad or something? I almost put it in spam, and that would have been awful because I would have missed out on this incredible opportunity, because I so often filter through my emails really quickly. But I opened it up and I looked at it, and I'll be honest, upon first looking at it, I was like, I don't know if I can do that. 80 days is a long time. And so I kind of thought about it a little bit. Backstory, I'm just now 3 months postpartum. So I just had my daughter, and this is over a month ago. And so I was kind of like, man, well, I don't really want to give up sweets or wine or anything like that. I was being very selfish about it. So anyways, I ended up saying yes because I wanted to be a part of this group. And it has been probably one of the most life-changing things that has happened in a long time for me. I think I was kind of in this postpartum funk fog where everything kind of is jumbled together. I wasn't really super working on my journey. I was working out every single day, just like I did my entire pregnancy, but the nutrition was missing. And so for me, the nutrition part of this program has been the biggest change ever, has been the biggest mindset change. And I think that's because not only is it strict, but it's like I'm teaching my body to actually eat more food than I'm used to. And I'm feeling really good. And I'm seeing results that I would do programs for months and months and months and never see those results. And man, I wonder why, because I wasn't so tuned into my nutrition like this. And, I know what to teach my challengers, and I know what to teach everybody to do, but to actually do that yourself when you're not just used to running a challenge group over and over and over again, like everyone else, it's easy to kind of be lenient with yourself on that. And so for me, I was very apprehensive and very skeptical about coming into a group like this. But as Christina said, it has been the most tight-knit community, so much support, people from every walk of life, every age, every size, every life stage. And it's so, so neat to see everyone get back to the one thing that puts us all in common, which is being a challenger. And all of us really celebrating our victories and being honest about the things that we're struggling with. And I think it just has opened my eyes so much to remind me of how important it is what we do in our challenge groups. And it's made me want to pour in even more to my challengers, because man, we're there in the trenches feeling what it feels like to detox from sugar and alcohol, and to struggle with, really struggle with that, and to have days where you don't want to work out, but you're gonna make it happen, because we're all in this time frame together, and we have a date every day at 12:30. And it's just really created this sense of a schedule in my life that I really needed. And I was so apprehensive and so quick to judge that. And it's been the one thing that I think I needed most. And so it's been so great to kind of plan my day out around my workouts and my meals, which sounds really silly to probably a lot of people, but to us, it's actually really helped me be a way more positive person. I am way more dedicated, way more energetic. I have more, I feel better with my kids, and I'm just a happier person. And I'm more productive in my work. I'm able to wake up earlier because I'm going to bed earlier, and treating myself with a lot more self-love and self-care. And this program has just really encompassed it all, honestly. It's kind of brought it all together of what we kind of need to be successful. So that's a little bit about my story.
Ashley, so currently you are ranked in the top 10, correct?
Yes, our team is number 5 right now.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this call isn't about, ranks or, how many diamonds or any of that. This is really about focusing on vital behavior 1, which is being proof the products work. But with that said, Ashley is currently ranked in the top 10, a new mom. Like, she had a baby, like, just the other day. She said before we started recording that she's been pregnant most of the time she's been a coach. And yet you've committed to this plan, which we'll talk a little bit more, this nutrition plan that is Times Nutrition. So can you talk in the sense of someone that is running a large organization, challenge groups, a lot of challengers, and committing to a program like this? Like, just inspire us to know that it's all a decision, right?
I was just going to say, honestly, you have to just decide that it's worth it. Because for me, and like most people, I'm sure, once you kind of see those first results kind of come through and you start feeling a little bit different, you're like, well, dang, I can't stop now. And so that's how it's been for me. I'm like, damn, I feel really good. I don't want to stop now. Like, I want to keep going. I want to see what this feels like. And that was, what Christina just asked. That was the number one thing I was so worried about. I had 2 kids under 2. I have a 3-month-old that just turned 3 months, and I have a almost 2-year-old. So he's like, crazy. So, life is a little bit insane right now. And that is just the reality of it. And I can either let that completely overtake my life and be the reason why I choose, or the excuse why I choose to not do all this, or I can let it be the reason why I'm going to actually stick to my guns and do this. And so my husband helps me, like, literally meal prepping on Sunday. I should have videoed it because it was hysterical. It would have been a day that I could have said, all right, I'm throwing in the towel. Like, this, I'm just not going to meal prep this week because it's that bad. Skylar was crying. Hudson's throwing salt and like pepper shakers across the kitchen. I mean, like, whatever you could think of in a movie, that's what was going on. My husband was playing golf, and I'm sitting here doing all this by myself. And so, it's things like that where you just kind of have to decide, that's not the reason. That's not the reason that you're just going to quit. You kind of just have to make it work for yourself. And honestly, as a mom, the biggest thing for me is that I really sabotaged myself in that sense that I didn't feed myself right. I would wake up in the morning and I'd get breakfast maybe. I could probably go all day long without really feeding myself, which, 1, is not good. I'm breastfeeding, so I need to eat more. But 2, I would become so depleted. My blood sugar would be so low. I would be so frustrated with my kids. I would not have enough energy to get through to the end of the day. And it really impacted me a lot. And so when I was so apprehensive about this nutrition part, it's been the one thing that has literally completely saved me and saved my poor husband from a hangry wife at the end of the day, because I've actually taken care of myself. And it's taken a lot of time. Yes, people look at me weird when I have my containers and my lunchbox with me when I go out to Target with my kids and I'm like pushing the Target cart, eating my carrots and like celery. But you know what? I feel good and I feel much better than I did before. And yes, I'm eating a whole bunch of food, but I feel amazing. And that is what you have to remember. And so I think that's going to be so important for us as you guys have moms and you guys are on your own journey. Maybe you are moms. I have a lot of moms on my team where it's just an excuse that we have. We're like, man, we're just kind of too busy. But you guys, that's just self-sabotaging yourself, because you just have to decide that you're going to do it, because you will feel better and you'll be better for everyone else because of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and
you're welcome.
Clearly our special guest has just jumped on with a lot of calories. So now we take a break, panelists, and we're going to turn it over to Autumn. Thank you for jumping on.
Hello.
Yeah, so let me just tee this up a second. We have only spoken in very general terms tonight about the program. So we've said things like time nutrition, and we've talked a little bit about the challenge group, not the challenge group, but the test group, because clearly this is a very, this is not a challenge group, in that we're actually helping Autumn kind of go through this process of creating this program with her, the coolest experience that I've ever been a part of. But now I think with you here, everyone is like, tell me more about time nutrition. Tell me more about the workout. So let's hear it from the boss herself. Like,
yeah. So I will dive into some of that stuff, but I will also tell you I've been given very specific instructions on how much we can and cannot say in regards to time nutrition, because we're not ready to totally let the cat out of the bag or give it all away 5 months before it launches, but I will get into it. But I'm so excited to be on. So one, thanks for asking me to talk with you guys, because this is awesome to have 500 and something people on here to hear all about it. This early, like this is everything about 80 Day Obsession is sort of unprecedented in the Beachbody world, and really anywhere, which it hit me the other day for the first time driving. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm the first person ever to do this, to do what we're doing right now. There's nobody else who's put out an 80-day program with 80 different workouts. And gone through it the way we're going through it right now. So basically, when Carl came to me with the idea of what is now 80 Day Obsession, it was a very broad topic, and he came to me, and pardon my language, but he was like, abs and ass. I want to do an abs and ass program. And I was like, cool, but it has to be a little bit more than that, right? Like I get to, like, it's a program, right? Like we're working the whole body. And he was like, yes. And he said, how much time do you need? And I looked at him and I said, Carl, realistically, I said, if you're asking me to do this, and the only way I'm going to do it is if I can do it the right way, I said, I need 3 months minimum. And he's like, done, yours. And I was like, awesome. And then I was like, and I need other equipment other than dumbbells. And he was like, okay, what do you need? And I was like, let me think about it. Like, I got to get the whole thing straight in my brain, and I'll let you know. And so he was like, okay. And I like started really thinking, like, how do I want this program to go? What do I want it to be? And I take a lot from my own experience. And at 36, almost 37, and having a bulging disc in my lower spine and watching what I've watched in the fitness community and that sort of thing, I didn't want a program where, one, you just have to lift crazy, insanely heavy weights to grow your glutes. And the other thing I found was the whole time I was training when I was a competitor and all that, and everybody was like, you got to squat and you got to lunge and da-da-da. And my butt was never what I wanted it to be when I took the stage, ever, not one time. And I was like, this is some BS, because as a fitness instructor, I know that's not what grows our glutes. Why am I listening to everybody else? That's not how you do it. We're not getting the right motion in our glutes to activate them. When you squat and you lunge, your glutes are an assister muscle. They're not the prime mover. And I was like, we got to get the prime mover working. So what do I need? And then I was like, I need resistance bands and I need sliders, because obviously we're not at a gym and I don't have massive pieces of equipment. So I'm like, I got to be able to work our bodies in ways that we don't typically do it. And I want to do it in a way that isn't going to put so much pressure on my joints as I get older that I'm like, oh my God, my knees hurt to walk, or my back is sore, or my neck. Like, I didn't want that anymore. It's not that that is wrong or you can't do that. I just didn't want to do that to my body yet again. So that's sort of where the idea came from. And then I just went into development. I went into development last December on it. I actually took my before photos. Carl has them. And I actually saw them the other day and I was like, ugh. I was like, why was that me in December? That's terrible. So we all have a starting point, and I will show mine one day when we get to the end of all of this. But I did it because I knew even going into development that my body would change, and I wanted to be able to see the changes that were happening. And I worked with Stephanie Saunders, who's our fitness expert. And really what I said to her when I sat down was like, I said, I want this to be just like it would be if somebody came to me at the gym and said they wanted to train with me. I said, I want real functional training. I want periodization. I want to progress them through a real program. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Fix and Fix Extreme and Hammer and Chisel. But, you know, then the questions come when, you know, you finish 2 and 3 and 4 rounds of those of what do I do next? I've hit a plateau. And I said, because we don't get to program the way we program in person. I said, I really want to program this. And the fact that Carl had thrown this sort of reality idea out at us that it was only going to be on BOD, and I got to film for 3 months straight, I was like, oh my God, I can finally do it, right? Like in week 1, I can have them in the 2x15. And then in week 2 and 3, I can put them in the 3x10s. And I can do it like we did last week, where it was like, oh, you circle through. And then today, which is a whole different kind of hell, right? Like, and I can circle back in week 4 next week to a 2x15, but you'll be stronger than you were in week 1. And not only will you see the changes, you'll feel the changes. And then in month 2, I can build, right? I can build on the movement patterns, like, because we've learned the basics, so I can make it more complex and then use more compound movements. And so that's sort of what we did when we went into the workouts, right? And we have 6 different workouts in each phase. So we have total body core day, which is working the entire body, but there's a strong focus on your upper body and your core with a little bit of leg work in there. We have glute day, which is like, basically it's all butt work for 45 minutes to an hour. And I bet y'all never thought you could do it, but you do. And then you don't walk for a day or 2. We have leg day, which should also be called glute day, because I don't know about you guys after Friday though, but this whole weekend I was like, I can't move. So we have leg day. Then we have 2 different types of cardio, both super fun and challenging in their own ways. One is HIIT training, so it's interval training, which I love, where we get to have really basic movements but keep the heart rate up, and we go pretty much nonstop for about 32 or 33 minutes. And then the other cardio day that we do is a little bit similar to, if anybody's done 21 Day Fix Extreme, it's the Extreme Challenge, where you basically add it on. So there's a lot of added on movements, and again, it's nonstop for about 25 to 30 minutes in month 1. It'll get longer in month 2 and month 3. I did build in 2 different types of active recovery days. We only filmed them once. Those are the only 2 work days that we film once. One is called roll and release, where I show you guys how to use a foam roller. So it's 15 minutes of foam rolling. And the other one is stretch and release. So it's a much longer stretch. It's going to be really important to use those 2 throughout the entire program to keep your body loose, because this is a lot of weight that we're moving, and it's a lot of small muscles that we're challenging that maybe you're not used to challenging. So there's that, which is really fun. So that's the premise of the workout. So we have those 6 workouts in month 1. Oh, and then we have AAA, which is arms, abs, and which is also awesome. I can't point at my butt sitting down. But so those are the 6 workouts, and we have them in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, but they're completely different workouts in each phase. So what you do in month 1 is completely different than what you do in month 2. The stuff you do in month 2 will build from what it may have been in month 1, but it'll look completely different. It'll feel completely different. It'll challenge you in a very different way. And same thing for month 3. So it's super fun. We are filming it in real time. There is very minimal editing that will ever happen to these videos. So basically what you see is what the test group, or what the test group, I guess, is getting right now is basically what everybody will get at home. Maybe with a different camera angle pulled in or something like that. But the beauty of filming it this way and filming it with 100 of you guys going through it with me at the same time is I get real-time feedback as we're developing. So and Carl's watching live feeds the whole time. So even when he's not on set, I'm getting emails and text messages about what he's seeing and what he likes or what he wants to talk about, what he wants to tweak. So today I got a note about timing, and he was like, you slowed down at the end. You were giving a much longer break time in between. I was like, we're dying. Hello. And he's like, I think you need to keep it like this. And I was like, okay, but I get to take to the Facebook group and ask you 100 participants, like, how was the timing? Did it slow down too much? Do you guys need more time? Are you adjusting with the bands? Like, are we moving too fast for you? Because I know in week 1, everybody was like, it's too fast, slow down. Now, it's filmed already, week 1 is, so I can't go back and adjust that, but I can adjust moving forward, which is the beauty of it. And I really love that. And I think it just brings something completely unique to the workouts, where every day I can talk about where we're at in the program. So even today, seeing what I saw from our group over the weekend, some people struggled a little bit for the first time. It was the second weekend, where we're like, okay, you're on point with the nutrition, and some people struggled. So I can come in and I can motivate and I can address that issue in the filming process, knowing that that's what happened, knowing that this is where people are starting to get a little bit like, woo, I know I walked in the house today. I walked into the kitchen, and my sister lives with me and she's in the background, and my friend Donald lives with me and he's in the background cast. And I looked at him and I was like, I need wine. And we all stood in the kitchen for like a good 60 seconds and we're like, do we do it? We shouldn't do it. I mean, I kind of want to do it, but we probably shouldn't do it. And we had a debate, but it was good because we had each other to be like, we're not going to do it. So that's the beauty of having the group and having you guys. We get to motivate each other as well. This is timed nutrition. I'll talk a little bit about the timed nutrition. Basically, I say this is what you guys have been asking me for 3 years, 3.5 years, ever since 21 Day Fix came out. You just might not have realized that it was called timed nutrition. But all the time I get asked, well, what's the right thing to eat right before a workout? Well, what's the right thing to eat after a workout? Well, how long before a workout should I eat? How long after a workout should I wait? What supplements do I take? What time should I be done with my food? What are the good containers to eat at night? I spell it all out for you. I literally tell you, this is when you're eating. These are the containers you get to mix and match. This is what we call your workout block, where you have this meal, your workout, this supplement, and your workout, and it's all timed out for you. And I know when you first look at it, it might for a split second feel overwhelming because you're just like, wait, what? You got to wrap your brain around it. It's probably the easiest thing ever to follow because there's no guesswork. There's not like, oh, I ate all these containers and all I have left is a blue. What do I have to eat? Because I've seen people do that. They're like, all I have left is an orange. Like, what do I eat at the end of the day? And I'm like, well, seeds. So there is none of that. Everything is very precisely timed out. You are going to need to be on point with your nutrition and with your food and with your meal prepping. I can't emphasize just how important meal prepping is with this program. I know I said it when I spoke with all the coaches before we ever started the program. I was like, never leave the house without food. Even if you think you're going to be gone for 20 minutes, take at least one meal with you. And I had like 4 or 5 people in the group be like, I should have listened to Autumn. I left the house. I thought it was going to be 20 minutes. I was gone for 3 hours and I'm behind. So there's all these little things that you're going to learn. And I'm hoping, and I'm sure that the panelists will speak to this tonight. The coolest thing that I've seen you guys say that I never dreamed, like it just sort of wasn't in my view of what the program would do, is how much you guys are saying that it is refocusing you in your business and just in life in general. Like that is really cool to see, because it's true, when you are organized and when you are on a plan and regiment And I use regiment in a positive way, not a negative one. But when you're regimented like this, you can plan everything else around it, right? Like the whole rest of your day gets scheduled out because it has to. You're like, I need to eat at this time and my workout's happening at this time. And one of the biggest things I can probably encourage you guys all to do with your challenge groups when this program comes out is to sort of do what you guys are doing in this Facebook group, which is that live Zoom workout that you guys are sort of running on the side while I'm running the regular workout, because there is a camaraderie that comes with you guys all being on there together. And there is something to be said for, hey, we're the 8 a.m. workout crew. For us, we're the 9:30 a.m. workout crew. Like, that's it. You know that workout is 9:30 every day. That's when it's going down. And you plan around it. So you know, like, I've got to be up at this time. I've got to make sure the kids are done by this time. Like, my business stuff gets scheduled at this time because this is happening here. And I think it's pretty awesome to watch and see how everything dials in when you dial in something like your fitness and your nutrition. I did see a question about the vegan plan. There is a complete vegan plan with this program. Same thing, everything, time, nutrition, food lists, all of that stuff. The one other thing that I didn't touch base on in terms of nutrition, because we haven't actually gotten to it yet, we won't get to it for another 3.5 weeks, is what we call refeed days. So I've given you guys lots of not so fun things like carb depleting and carb cycling, right? Where I take your carbs away for a certain amount of time. This is the first time I'm ever giving you refeed days, where I know you guys are all going to freak out on me when you see how many containers a day you have to eat. But you're going to overload on carbs for just one day, and it happens every 2 weeks, starting in week 6. So you only refeed 4 times total in the program. We do it for a very specific reason. When you're at a deficit, and we are technically at a deficit in this program, even if you're in maintenance mode, you're probably at a little bit of a deficit. Believe it or not. Like, it's not as big of a deficit as the people who went for the weight loss calculation, but you're still probably at a little bit of a deficit. When you stay at a deficit for a lengthy period of time, usually at least 6 weeks, which is why our first one doesn't come until week 6, certain symptoms start to set in, right? You get a little bit tired. You want a cookie. You're over the brain starts to wave just a little bit on its determination and its motivation to stay on it. But you also might start to have a little bit of trouble sleeping. We've depleted your glycogen stores quite a bit. You're getting plenty of carbohydrates all throughout the program, but at a deficit, you're at a deficit, and these workouts are intense. Anybody can tell you. So we've tapped into your glycogen stores. That's basically the sugar in your muscles. When we refeed your muscles for 24 hours, you get this awesome little spike in your metabolism. You get this awesome little spike where you fill your muscle bellies back in. If you've ever been on a really intense nutrition program for a while and you have a quote unquote cheat day and you wake up the next day super shredded, that's why your body is like, oh my God, thank you. I know what to do with this. And it just goes into hyper mode and uses it. Now, we don't do it every day because that's no longer a refeed. That is just overeating. But this is, again, very timed. This is very precise. The carbohydrates go up. The fat content comes way down. It's your yellows and your purples that are going to go up. Bobby and I will be creating some really fun, awesome recipes for things like brownies or cupcakes. You'll be allowed to have white pasta and white bread on that day, French fries, things like that. Alcohol still won't be thrown in there. I know everybody's like, it's juice, come on. I debated it, but we're going to keep that out of there because we're trying hard to keep the alcohol out for 80 days. But yes, the refeed will be in there once every 2 weeks. It'll happen the day before leg day always, because your body needs some time to uptake those nutrients. And then we go work legs, the biggest muscles, so we can really utilize all that glycogen that we just cram back into the muscles. Have I covered everything, Christina? Do you have questions?
Pretty much. I do have a few questions that I think it'd be worth you answering, and they're real fast.
Absolutely.
Someone asked, is this an advanced program, and whether there's a modifier? So obviously we could answer that question, but let's hear it from you.
Yeah, so there is a modifier. and this is an advanced program. This is intermediate to advanced for sure. Like somebody should definitely have a baseline of fitness. I'm not saying that they have to be like super lean and shredded. What I'm saying is they should have an understanding of how to weight train properly before they start this, because even in month 1, some of the movement patterns are they're not hard to do, but they require you to understand, how do I squat? How do I do a shoulder press properly? How do I hold a plank properly? Being able to hold a plank for a given amount of time, being able to rotate in a plank. So these are things that without a baseline of fitness, you might not want to do, which is why, hold on, I'm going to digress from your question, but I swear I'm going to circle back to it. It's the perfect time for all coaches right now. Like, this should be a golden opportunity to build your business, because basically you should be getting everybody ready to do 80-day obsession with all of, whether they're my programs or other training programs. But it's like, guys, we've got 4 months until 80-day obsession comes out. I know my sister's doing it right now. She counted backward on the calendar to plan everything out, and she's starting challenge groups of just like, okay, we're starting with 21-day fix. That way she can get them on the container plan. She can get them learning. She can get them used to what my workouts are, what my cueing is, what my movement patterns look like. Then you can move on. You can either move on to chisel. I would suggest chisel actually second. Then you can move them up to extreme. We may or may not throw one little extra thing at you before 80-day obsession comes out. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you can start building, and you can start getting them strong enough and confident enough, both in their fitness and in their nutrition, to be ready to take on 80-day obsession. This is the time to lock them in, get them going on BOD, get them going on Shakeology, and really work them towards goals step by step. Because when they take on 80-day obsession, one, they're going to love it, but they're only going to love it if they feel prepared for it. But to circle back, yes, there is a modifier. She modifies to an extent. There are just certain things that don't have modifications. She might use a little bit lighter weight. She might have a little bit less range of motion for us. But the other cool thing is you will watch my modifier progress. So this is week 3. She started to do some of the movements with the rest of us. She would modify it first so everybody could still see what the modification was. And then she'd be like, I'm going to give it a shot and go for the harder version. So you can watch even the modifier get stronger each month.
Love that. And yeah, that was perfect. I mean, I think everybody is very, very, very excited. If you look at the chat, everybody's going nuts over this. There are some specific questions that I'll just speak for Autumn on this, and I hate to speak for Autumn, but that she probably can't discuss more about too intense into the nutrition plan, because like she said, this has to roll out. We're still a bunch of months away from January. But I mean, I can't thank you enough for, number one, creating this program. You know that for me, this was my lifeline. I needed this. And I'm going to talk about it a lot more on this call. And I'm sure others probably feel the same, where I had convinced myself of things about my body and about what I'm now going to look like as a soon to be 37-year-old. And this is just the way it's going to be. And you have made me laugh in the face of those comments that I was making to myself. I am personally down 8 pounds. And we're day 15, but down 8 pounds and a lifetime to go. I am obsessed. I really am. I'm obsessed with this program. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I so appreciate it. I do see everybody asking for sneak peeks. Guys, you know that won't come until at least December, because we don't launch until January. There might be a sneak peek at leadership if you're coming. There might be. We're in talks about it right now. So I won't sneak peek it without being able to sneak peek it properly. So so that's that. We gotta make sure people have equipment and stuff like that. But it's my pleasure jumping on with you guys. I'm gonna let you guys take it back and take it away and give it all the love it deserves. And thank you. And I will see you guys all in the gym tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. So what a treat was that. Oh my gosh, having Autumn on live talking about her own program. Like we can talk about it, but she really does it justice because you get to hear kind of the behind the scenes, which I love to hear about programs that we then get to promote. But in Autumn fashion, she hit the nail on the head when she said that this is the time now to start building that excitement towards January and getting our challengers dialed into their fitness and their nutrition now to prepare for that. So with that said, I want to turn it over to Julie. I want Julie to talk to us about her experience thus far, maybe a little bit about your story, Julie, anything you've had to overcome mentally and how you're feeling in 80-day obsession.
Great, thank you. So my name is Julie, and like it has been mentioned, when we joined this group, we really had no clue what we were doing. We were kind of put in the group, we were given these bands and given the sliders, and we didn't even know who our trainer was going to be. We were told it was a popular female, and that was about it. And it wasn't until a couple days before that we even had the meal plan or knew anything. So we all kind of went into it just not knowing what to expect, but ready to embrace it and take it on. We knew it was a long program. We knew it was 80 days. It's actually longer than that because they're not counting our rest days. So it is a 90, 93, something like that day program, I believe. Yeah, and so we kind of got the email and it was like, all right, now summer as you know it is over next week. And I think that was a big struggle for me going into it. And not necessarily a struggle, but it was definitely something that I didn't expect, because you kind of plan out your summer and you plan out all the things you're going to do on your summer. And then all of a sudden you're told, okay, next week you can't have alcohol until the last week of October. And it really does throw you. But at the same time, it makes you realize that you can do it. And I think a lot of us in this group have kind of, like Christina said, we've gotten comfortable with where we are, and we've told ourselves these stories of why we're doing what we're doing and why it's okay, and why we're allowed to sit in these comfort zones and not push ourselves out of them, when this has really forced us past that. And it's forced us to step up and really be the product, be proof the products work, and be the coaches that we should be and that we need to be. So I think that's been one of the biggest things for me. The second thing was the structure. I'm kind of all over the place. I am single, I have no kids, and I wake up every day and just kind of wing it. And I've needed structure. I have needed structure. Structure also freaks me out. And that's why I love this business, is because I got into it. One of the reasons was I needed freedom and wanted that freedom. So having the structure and having the timed meals at first really, really freaked me out. And it has actually changed everything. It has been so much easier to follow. And it has trickled into my business, my home. I'm even like organizing my house, and it's changing things that I never thought it would change at all. It does take a couple days to get used to. I have about 10 alarms set on my phone that go off all the time. One's probably going to go off in 15 minutes for me to take my recover. And that has just taken the guesswork out of it. And I don't have to think about it anymore. My alarm goes off. I look at my sheet. I figure out which meal I need to eat. I figure out, it's made me meal prep, which I've never done before, which I'm like embarrassed to say as a coach. And it's really made me be a challenger again and be able to help my challengers and know what they're going through with a new meal plan and everything that they have as their concerns. So I think it's made me a better coach to my clients to really put myself in their shoes again.
I love that, Julie. Just from personal experience, in the summertime, I've been waking up 8, 9 o'clock. My kids are sleeping in, and then the whole day is like chaos, right? You're trying to like figure out what to do with the kids, and oh my gosh, I have to invite people, and I have to log in my groups and do all these things. But now, because my husband's doing the program with me, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock. Well, let's talk about the sleep, guys. We're forced to sleep 8 hours a day. Right? So no more late owl business work happening at 2 a.m. We have to go to sleep by 10:30 after we take our recharge. Rob's going to talk about the supplements in a second, but I am super focused. And I don't know about you, Julie, maybe you can talk a little bit about how you're structuring your business around this, but I'm getting so much work done in the first 2 hours of the morning. and then, you know, it flows and the rest of the day is not chaotic because I know what I'm supposed to be doing and when, right? So when are you fitting in your business hours during this plan?
Absolutely. So something to add to that, I was having sleep issues for a while where I was waking up super early for no reason or waking up in the middle of the night, and it was going on for months. And this has actually helped me with that because it's forced me to go to sleep before midnight or 1 or 2. And I mean, I've tried everything. I've posted on Facebook and, you know, everybody gives you advice, and I've tried everything that they've said. And this is what it was. I just needed to go to sleep earlier and be on a schedule. So it's helped my sleep with that too. With, you know, being on point with your nutrition, with being on point with working out, with not having a glass or 2 of wine at night, it's really helped my sleep. When I do get up in the morning, I am getting up earlier. I'm way more productive. With the timed workouts, you know, like, all right, at 12:30, we're pushing play, like it's starting. And so I've really been able to fit my work in between, where I, you know, have my pre-workout meal and then my workout. And so I can check in with my challengers, check in after the workouts into my groups. And it's really created a lot more structure for me, which has been exactly what I needed.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate you sharing.
Absolutely.
I want to talk to Melanie a second. A few topics come to mind when with Melanie being in this group. Number one, you guys know that Melanie is the queen of consistency, right? So she came into this group already being very consistent in her meal prep, in her workouts, just always on the ball. And that's what we love about Melanie, right? She is proof the products work. She leads from the front, like all of the good stuff about the network. Melanie to me encompasses that in a big way. But she comes in, right, into our group going on vacation, right? Literally week 1, she's on vacation. She's going overseas in the middle of the challenge group and then at the end of the challenge group again. So I have 2 questions for you. Melanie, how are you managing to be the queen of consistency during doing this program in particular with the Time Nutrition? And is it feasible for people that are busy, aside from just coaching, you know, maybe have a job, have kids, and maybe have some travel plans in the near future?
Yeah, so we literally got the information for this program on Saturday, and I was getting on an airplane to fly to go on vacation, a vacation that I was really excited about. And I was like, margaritas 24/7. Like, I could not wait for this vacation. And I was so bummed. You know, I really had to talk myself that it was like an okay thing because, again, I'm the kind of person that when I commit, I commit. So Matt was like razzing me. He's like, you're on your own. You're cooking your own meals this week. He's like, so I did, like, I hard boiled eggs, and we eat pretty clean anyway. So I just got fresh fruits and vegetables. And so I sat up one night, you know, it was Sunday, and I just on a sheet of paper kind of figured out my meals, and my head was kind of spinning. And I will say, like, the first day I didn't do really good. My timing was all off. I actually came in from the beach. It worked out that, like, the kids came in and wanted to eat lunch, and I went and worked out at 12:30. So that worked out fine. Like, my vacation schedule was good because those of you all know, I'm like the 5 a.m. girl. That's when I get up to do my workout. So actually, vacation actually went really well. I just got lots of soda, like seltzer water with fresh limes and lemons, and that was good. It was hard because I didn't have weights the first week, but I packed my resistance bands and the little bands that they gave me. And so I tried to do the workout with resistance bands, and I definitely didn't feel like I got as good of a workout. And so at the end of the week for leg day, I knew I was coming home. So I just, like, didn't do leg day. And then I ended up having to do a double workout once I got back home. So and that was the good part. Like, the workouts are up for 48 hours. And I think they're always up. I don't think that link ever really goes away. So I just kind of went back and doubled up over the weekend. So that first week was hard because everything that people were kind of talking about, I sort of felt like I missed that because I was on vacation, but I did my best. I tracked it, and I tried to do my best. So when I came home, I was like, all right, I'm going to rearrange my schedule so I can work out at 12:30. The first day I didn't work out at 12:30 because I was in the middle of working and I hadn't showered. I hadn't brushed my teeth. Like, this is not Melanie at all. Like, I'm really struggling with this. And so it's 5 o'clock at night and I was like, Matt's cooking dinner. And I'm like, I have to go do my workout. And he just gave me this look like, really? And I'm like, well, I have to. And so I went and I worked out and I just decided that the next morning that I was going to, I ended up making like the next day my rest day. And so now I'm a day behind. So I'm a day behind everybody else because I cannot function unless I do my workout first thing in the morning. It throws me off the whole day and I'm just okay with that. So my rest day is just a little bit different, but I just found that I can't function. I will make an excuse to not do the workout if I have to do it at 12:30. So that was part of it. And then I'm actually struggling with this. The time nutrition is hard. I have to set an alarm for myself and I forget to eat. And so this has really been a challenge. And so I'm like carrying around my nutrition sheets and constantly checking it off the box. So, and I have to get up and eat and then work out, which is also hard too. So I'm like doing my personal development and then I'm working out. So while I'm letting that hour kind of kick in the morning, and I'm just drinking a shake for my morning because I don't want to be cooking at 5 o'clock in the morning. So anyways, I would say that I have been on the struggle bus for the first 2 weeks, but I finally this week feel like I'm getting into a rhythm and a flow. My food is going well. I've been upping my weights and I'm really starting to feel better. And last week was like that time of the month too. So then that kind of threw everything off as well. So I feel like I've had like the worst start out of everybody. And usually like I am all in. So that's going on. And then I am leaving, like I'm leaving Wednesday. So let's just throw that in there too. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go to the grocery store and grab all the fresh fruits and vegetables and, anything that I can get. And I'll just have to, hit up like the lean proteins and I'm going to have to wing it once I get there. But I was doing the Shift Chop test group when we went to Entre Leadership and I was totally fine because when I get in the zone, I can get in the zone. So that's kind of my game plan is to just kind of do my best while I'm there. So I'll figure it out. I'll go with it. But that's my account right now. It is not perfect. It is kind of messy, but I am doing my best. I really am.
Well, we know you are always doing your best, but that just goes to show that, things happen, right? Things happen to us, things happen to our customers. And you guys, I think, can all attest to this, that as we are part of this process and reading the posts that are going up daily of, oh my gosh, I slipped up, or oh my God, whatever it is, that we're learning so much about how other people operate. And we're learning to adapt to how other people think, how other people, advance, I guess, progress in their fitness journey, some slower, some faster. How about the big C word and comparison? Like, Melanie, have you looked at, like, let's say my sister's food pics and like said, oh my God, like I can't do that, right? Or someone that posted that Ruth the Truth, who already is sporting an 8-pack. And we're like, but what? And so comparison, right? That's a big deal in our business. So what would you say to someone, trying to grow this business while being a challenger, and that dirty word we call comparison?
Are you asking me this question?
Yeah.
For me, I'm the kind of girl that's like, okay, I get a spoon and a protein. I'm like a spoonful of almond butter. I'm going to eat 2 eggs. Like, I really look at this as like, I'm eating for fuel. It's not really a pleasure experience. And that's just kind of how I look at it. So I'm like, oh, eggs, that container's checked off. Oh, okay. Vegetables, that container is checked off. And so for me, I go in and I read those posts, but I am like, I know that my body progresses differently. Like, I know that I'm never going to have an 8-pack, I just know that that's the way I am. I know that so for me, I just, maybe because I've been doing this for so long and I I have so many like body, just like, just some of the things that I've gone through with my kids and my pregnancies, and I never wear a 2-piece anyways. I just kind of know that like my body is just going to react differently. So I'm kind of okay with that. But I would say for everybody else, like I just know that certain foods are going to bloat certain people, like I know I can't eat broccoli or cauliflower. And so I think even like the post with Amy Silverman, she was sharing all those foods, like some that bloat, some that don't. Some people can have dairy, some people can't. So I think this is like a science experiment on our own bodies too. So we kind of know how our bodies are, and then we're trying different ways of eating. And so we're diving into that even more. It's like taking clean eating and the 21-day fix to like the next level. So as I was thinking about how I'm going to prepare people too, it's like Shift Shop's a really great kind of segue, because it's teaching you how to cut out certain things, and that's really refining your clean eating. And then this sort of takes it to a whole new level. Like you have to have some sort of food control before you can go into this. I don't know if you guys agree with that. So I think some of that emotional stuff, like work on that now, the comparison, so that when you get there, it's not as big of an issue. And maybe that's a better answer. Oh, wait, you're muted, Christina.
Why do I do that? Anyway, what I said was I appreciate that answer. That was like spot on. I agree with you 100%. And what's cool is being in this group, and you kind of we have to deal with these issues in real time, so that then when we go into our challenge groups, we kind of know how to field kind of other people's comments, and in response to issues like comparison, in response to issues of bloat and I'm not losing weight as fast as this girl's doing or this guy's doing it. And so it's really cool to be dialed in to your nutrition and your fitness, because you become more self-aware. Do you guys agree with that? You become self-aware, and when you are self-aware, you are able to serve other people better. I agree. I think that's a key to this. Now, Rob, Amanda, you're going to kill me, but I'm going to hold you to the end. I'm going to shoot over the next segment over to Rob, who I hope touches on the fact that most of us are using the performance line. I would also like you to touch on the mental shift that you've gone through coming off of Shift Shop, because I'm sure maybe the 427 people that are watching this call right now might be doing Shift Shop right now, and the nutrition plan with Shift Shop that basically takes you off of carbs in week 3. I'm not going to go too much detail, I'll let you talk, but how did you feel transitioning from that to now we can eat rice and we can eat all these things?
So it's so crazy, because when I was made aware of this opportunity, that was the first thing that I was afraid of, because over the 6 or 8 weeks that we had been doing Shift Shop, it worked for me. The nutrition worked for me, and I got it. And all of a sudden, this other thing came in. It was like, well, in order for me to do this test group, I'm going to have to completely change something that I know has been working for me, right? And so in my head, I said, I don't know if I want to do this, because like if something's working, then why can't I do something else? And then at that point, you have to say, trust these people. Like, I feel like this company, Beachbody, we have the market cornered on 30-minute workouts. We have the market cornered on all these things. And I thought about it. It's like, how exciting is it that we're taking the governor off. We're going to do 40 to 60-minute workouts again. And you can throw yourself into this. Like, I can give 80 days of my life. I can give 80 days of my life to something different, because if it doesn't work, then I can go back to what I know works. And I think so often we, as people, we think about what we're afraid is going to happen instead of focusing on what could happen. What potentially can happen. What if this nutrition can be one step better? And I think Melanie nailed it. Once you have that structure, and once you know what you're capable of taking out and putting back in, like you have no restriction. Like, as soon as I looked at this program, it's like, this is so easy for me now. And I think that's the thing, is if you're going through the Shift Shop, or if you're going through any program that has the portion containers, stop trying to figure out a way to get clever and make it work, and make it work. Follow the plan, because if you do that, you empower yourself to take that element, that guessing game out of it, because food is fuel. And I am so excited, because I get to take what was my best body in forever since completing the Shift Shop, and now I get to take it another level. right? And so if you want to get the best results, you have to have the highest of standards. Okay. And this is something, and Christina, thank you for teeing that up, because I honestly feel like so many people miss out on the performance line. And like everyone wants Energize because like it makes you feel good. It like, and if you drink Energize and don't do your workout, you just can't do it because your body goes crazy. Everyone loves Energize, but there's science that backs everything. And the way that I look at this, the joke that I've been making is, so Chelsea and I own a Toyota Camry. That's one of our 2 cars. And I love my Camry, but my dream car is an Audi R8. So in my head, like I'm working, my body's the Camry and I'm working to become an R8, right? And the thing is I'm not going to put regular gasoline in that engine. I'm not going to put regular oil in that engine if I want it to be a performance car. So like you have to start taking care of your body like it's the body that you want it to be, right? And that's a parallel with your business, right? You can't put in 30 minutes a day and expect to have $1 million business. Like you have to show up, you have to create and utilize the systems. You have to do that. And it's the same thing with your body. You have to start taking care of yourself exactly like you should be when you have the body of your dreams. Okay. So when it was about a year ago, I recovered from a pretty bad spine injury, and I just decided that I was going to make a commitment to the performance line. And the changes that I've seen because of that made me have faith in this, but I could not get into recharge. I just couldn't do it. Like the taste wasn't great. And now when I say that, I laugh at myself because of what I just said before. Like, does the taste of one quick shake that you pound before bed, that is the best thing that you can do for your body, is it really about taste, or is it about taking care of your body the way that you're supposed to? And what I found again is if you hold yourself to higher standards, if instead of trying to work the nutrition plan, you make the nutrition plan work for you and you give yourself the supplements that you need, you will see the most amazing, ridiculous changes in your body. And like part of what we're talking about on this call tonight is being proof the product works. And I know for everyone, inviting is the biggest struggle. Inviting is the biggest struggle. And I'll tell you, the best way to get better at inviting is to get better at getting results, because that makes it automatic. People see those changes, the physical changes people see, and they just want it. They just want it. So if you take that mentality over the next 4 months and you just say, like, I'm going to stop trying to cheat the nutrition, because I guarantee you, like, if you drink the water you're supposed to drink, if you take these performance supplements and you use them religiously and you have faith and you trust that they work, you'll have the best workouts that you've ever had before, and you'll see a transformation that you never thought was possible.
Damn, son.
All right. I told you that don't mess with the supplement line. Like, that's my jam.
So you just took us to church on that performance line. I'll be honest, this is the first time that I do it consistently. I would convince myself that I pushed hard in a workout and I would drink Recover, which I wasn't. Now I know what it feels like to really push in a workout. I hadn't done that in quite a while. But Energize obviously is our go-to, but drinking Recover and Recharge has been really, really, really solid for us. But it's funny, in the group, you'll see some people have started and then have had to pull back on a supplement, maybe because it's causing bloating, maybe there's an intolerance for Recharge or Recover. I mean, but for the most part, we're being encouraged to use the performance line, and I know I feel it. I feel the difference, and I love it. So thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. Amanda, I'm going to turn it over to you now. Last but certainly not least, we're already at the 10 o'clock mark, and we're hoping to keep these calls to an hour, but we want to hear from you. First, I want to address this topic of being in a coach test group. And obviously you can share your story, and I would love to hear it, because this is actually the first time I get to speak to you. But, a lot of people say, if only I could get in a coach test group, right? How many times have we heard that, you guys? If only I can do it, I would kill it, right? And in fact, after I did the 21-day fixed test group in 2013, yes, 2013, I would say the same thing. If they would only pick me again, I'd crush it again, but the whole time I had the opportunity to do it, right? With the programs that we had available. So Amanda, talk to me about that kind of mindset going into this, a little bit about your story and any nuggets that you want to share with everybody.
Well, I personally like the thought of, I'll never forget when I got that phone call and asked to be in the test group. I was kind of blown away. I didn't know where it came from. I'd never been in a test group before. It was kind of on my bucket list, but I was like, you know, at this point, coming home from Summit, I was actually at the biggest plateau I've been in my coaching career so far. And so it was kind of like that moment where like, this was supposed to happen to me. And that's what I felt like initially. I'm like, this is my saving grace right now. This is what I need. I was so excited to come back. And I remember at the airport on our way home saying to Tom, I was saying, you know, I got to come back and I got to get back into this. Like, I've been so focused on my business, so I thought, and I'm putting myself on the back burner. Like, I couldn't believe what was happening. And so when I got this information that I was asked to be in this group, I was blown away, and I was obviously really excited. But I was also known as like the 30-day girl. So I was like 30 days on, 30 days off. And I was in this plateau was actually not just 30 days, it was going consistently. And so when I came back, I made this decision. I was really excited. And then I got the invite to the group. And I actually mentioned this to Christina in chat, I believe. I was like, I started seeing all the faces and I was just like, why am I here? Why was I invited here? I didn't understand. And instantly my guard went up and I started to have all these, you know, these like I was just telling myself that I couldn't do it. I wasn't ready. I needed to get myself in better shape first. And I was almost ready to just say no and give up the opportunity completely. But I decided on making a decision for myself. I'd hit a plateau and I decided that if I was going to do this, even if it included putting my coaching business on the back burner for a little bit, I needed this for me. And so I decided to come in there with just guns blazing and I would work my butt off, literally, and, you know, dive right into this test group. And when I looked at all these people that were starting to saying, oh, you're so lucky. And I was looking around, I'm like, no, like we have the opportunity to run our own test groups every single day. And so even though I was focusing so much on myself, what was happening was my business was actually taking off even more because I was shining through with who I was becoming and I was excited every day. So I'm not working even half the amount of hours that I was working before, trying to hustle hard and get myself going. Whereas now with everything so structured in my day and I'm excited to share everything, it's just coming naturally, right? I'm everything scheduled and I have alarms too and highlighted, eat it everywhere. Like I'm kind of there's just stuff everywhere. Sticky notes, and my son knows now to take them off. But anyways, and it just keeps me super focused. And what actually was a huge surprise, and I was talking to someone today about this, is my challenge groups that I'm running currently are actually getting better results now than they were before. And that kind of broke my heart a little bit because it was like, I wasn't consistent, so they felt okay not to be consistent either. And it's my job to help those people make sure they get results. And I wasn't doing that. And so now that feeling of popping in my challenge group every day and seeing people just as excited as me, you know, messaging me about the results and sharing that stuff together, my challenge groups are so much more effective. So with that being said, I know the test group is super cool because we get this sneak peek, but ultimately, like my biggest piece of advice and something I will take away from this forever is I will forever, you know, challenge myself to feel like I'm in my own test group for a program and commit it from start to finish, because that's what's bringing out the best in other people too.
Man, you nailed it. And one thing that jumped out of me obviously was right at the end when you said that your challenge groups now are better, your customers are getting better results. that's because of the energy that you are exuding, because you are on point, because you are being proof that the products work. You guys, that is the key to our business. You know, the 4 vital behaviors, which I still call them the 3 vital behaviors, because I do think inviting, being proof, and personal development are really the bread and butter of our business, are 3 things that you control. But the one that we all, tend to underestimate the power of PD. But the one thing that you have super duper quadruple control over is being proof. And if you do that, you're gonna build trust, like Rob said. You're gonna build that connection to our mission, to the passion that we had. Whenever you started this business, when you were guns blazing about getting results and starting to write your story, how excited you were, that's how you should feel every day about this, because what we do matters and what we do impacts a lot of people. So if you can make the commitment today, not in January, right, guys? Can we all agree that this call is not, and the future calls, right? The calls that are coming down the pipeline, it's not about, okay, just hold on to January, we got you in January. No, the key is that you have the programs now to feel like we feel. And that's why we wanted to do this, right? We want you guys to connect to the Shift Shop, connect to the Performance Line, connect to Autumn's programs if you want to get ready for 80-day obsession, 21-day fix extreme, and hammer and chisel. All of this. And of course, we have a week of hard labor coming in while we're in the test group, so we can't do it until after. But that's something you guys can really zero in on to make you proof that the products work. So I don't want to keep everyone on any much longer. It's already 10:10, but I have to say thank you to Julie, Amanda, Rob, Melanie, and Ashley. I'm going to ask one more question and then we're going to sign off. In just a few words, what has been your biggest breakthrough in the last 2 weeks, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whatever it is? Julie, I'll start with you.
For me, it's definitely getting the structure. It's something that I know I've needed. And this was the push that forced me to do it. And it pushed me out of my comfort zone. It hands down the structure.
Awesome. Rob, how about you?
I kind of said this, but I want to restate it. So I think not trying to figure out a way around the detail and the structure. Like if you pouring 110% into something means doing it as it's supposed to do, try not to cheat it, because you only end up cheating yourself. Amanda, how about you?
Yeah, mine's definitely same thing, right? The structure and all of it. And it's actually helped me recognize my relationship with food over the last few weeks, and actually realizing things that I can and can't eat that I didn't even realize. So definitely the structure and my relationship with food.
Ashley, what about you?
Just having a schedule. Oh, sorry. Was I muted? No, definitely the same as everyone else, is just having that structure and making it work and not making excuses for why it can't work and trying to wiggle your way around it, but just fully committing. Because, and I said that in the little chat bar, don't say that you can't do this, or that your body can't change, or that you can't get through something like this, because you don't know that. And I guarantee you that you're going to be proven wrong.
And Melanie.
I have to say that the biggest thing for me is I realize I'm just not done learning yet. And even being somebody who's consistently worked out for the past 6 years now, I mean, religiously clean eating, and I'm still learning and I'm still tweaking. And as my body changes, and over the past 6 years, like hormonal changes, like I'm just learning so much about my body as I progress through life. And we never arrive at our final destination. Like our fitness and our nutrition is a lifelong journey. And this is just another step in the process of just achieving those results, and our lifelong fitness. So I think for me, I'm just embracing the challenge, embracing the change, and I'm just rolling with the punches. So I'm excited.
Amen. And I'll end with, stop convincing yourself of the BS stories that you have ingrained in your mind, because I was the number one person to be guilty, that I couldn't be fit again, that I had to live my brand, which is Fit-ish, and that is who I was, that I can change, you can change. It's a decision that you make 100%. If you want it and you want it bad enough, all you have to do is convince yourself that you can, and you absolutely will. So you guys, I will end with that. Stay tuned for call number 2, which will be hopefully in the next 2 weeks. You guys rocked it. And of course, thank you for Autumn for jumping on. So I'll see you.